Ain't that a kick in the head? Oh, hello. The Liching Hour has come. I am your host, The Lich. Welcome to the dungeon. It's been a couple weeks. I was at Gen Con for last weekend. It was amazing, awesome time. I did sign on Friday and Saturday last week. I don't know if you caught me, but it was a good time. We have a new adventure tonight. New adventure. Our old party. They're not that old, but before we get into that, in Dungeon News. Tonight, in Dungeon News, there's been another outbreak of crypt rash going around. You can get your booster shots on level 5, or if you're really brave, you can go to HR. Get the booster. It gives you a +5 fortitude check on your saving throw. Side effects are completely minimal. I mean, there is a 1% chance your metabolism might react in a way that creates a tiny rip in the fabric of reality inside your body, and a host of demons will pour forth. But that's a small price to pay for not walking around with dungeon crud on your face. In other news, we've really let our Instagram go. Now the Goblins in Marketing have come up with a new slogan for the dungeon. More like Fungin, right? Yeah. So we're going to ask everyone to submit their favorite Fungin moment. And we'll post them. Got to be clean. The photo with the most likes will win the submitter a wand of photo filters. Very fun. I believe that is it for today, monsters. Viva la dungeon. All right. Thank you, me, for those dungeon news. So Snopes is standing in this gigantic treasure room. Piles of gold and gems and weapons and magic and just surrounds him. Above him, looming over him, is something vast and ancient and evil. But he is looking down at his friend underneath a rock. A rock has fallen and crushed his friend. Next to the rock, he raises his eyes just high enough to see another friend next to the rock who turns to him. His friend Gunther, with no eyes, completely covered, completely bare of eyes. His face, his mouth, in a angry fit. He lunges at Snopes with a sword and puts the sword into Snopes' chest. Snope looks down as the sword goes in, and he is powerless to stop it. And as blood starts gushing forth, Snope wakes with a start. He looks around. It's almost dawn. Pix is sitting just outside the fire. She turns and sees him, and she gives him a nod, a knowing nod. This isn't the first nightmare Snopes had. It's been 3 months since the party lost over half of their members in the treasure vault of Shigizl-Nozelthrub, the one who watches from below. Cassius, Gunther, Talia, Barrow, all were left down in that treasure vault as it collapsed on itself. Snope, Meggle, and Pix found themselves free and unfettered of the crimes against the Scions of Law that brought them there, but they found themselves in a completely different place in the world. Not a different world. I mean, it still feels like their world, but they're in a different place. The astrological, the signs are all different. The stars are different. Things are different, and they need to find their way home. And for 3 months, they've been wandering. It's it's forests. It's the environment isn't much different than what they were used to before. Forests, a little bit of mountain. The trek hasn't been that difficult. The first At first they were a little afraid because they didn't think they'd find a town, but they found a one after another tiny little towns with one inn and some farmers. Um, so they feel like they can't be too far from home. Uh, but they've been keeping them themselves. They have to. They have a little bit. They have a little bit of. They did end up a little bit of treasure. Pix came running out of there with a lockbox of treasure. Out of all the treasure there, she still her dreams are a little different. Her dreams, she dreams less about the people who died there, more about all the treasure she missed. But she did end up. They ended up with a good amount of gold. Not enough to make them rich, but enough to where they keep it hidden. She also ended up with an iron ring that was that makes her feel more hardy, and a potion. Ooh. They didn't end up with a lot of treasure. They are running for their lives towards the end there. So Snopes looks at her. He looks over at Meggle. Meggle's still sleeping. Um, her her hawk. What's her hawk's name? I forget. Did we name her? Oh, of course we did. It's Ormond. Ormond, her hawk, is sitting there watching him watch her. Uh, he never sleeps. They've gotten to know each other pretty well. Well, Meggle and Snope knew each other. They've grown closer with Pix. Pix turned out she was an orphan and was given up and found in town by a drunk who then delivered her to, gave her to the local church in the town that she grew up in. Didn't end up being the same town that she met them. She moved from town to town as a beggar growing up, and the only thing that we found out about her that's different now is that when she was given to the church, she had a small necklace with a like a bird feather kind of token attached to it, made out of some kind of something valuable. It might have been white gold, she thinks, but she was young when some kid stole it from her in an orphanage. That's the only thing she had that was ever a tie to her, where she came from. She traveled around a lot when she was a kid and never really chose a life of thiefdom, just being a beggar. She wasn't angry at her lot in life. She just tried to survive. And but lately she's really dove into the thiefly abilities, and she's grown as a character. They're all level 2 now. These three are the ones who survived are level 2. She's moved up with her luck die. Her luck die is now a D4 instead of a D3, so that's exciting. She still has the curse though from when they broke into the plane of law and tried to steal the egg of chaos, Yokel's egg. If she sweats, she sweats light. If she begins to sweat, she has light erupts from her body instead of sweat, making her very bright and easy to hit, and making it very hard for her to sneak. So while she's been practicing her thieving abilities, she's also been trying to train herself to do things without breaking a sweat, which typically means being a lot more careful. Snope himself, he's grown as well. Let's see, what does level 2 bring for a dwarf? Level 2 brings not much more hit points as it does for everybody. Oh yeah, right. His deed die goes to a 1d4 instead of a 1d3. So that's cool. He made it out of there with the battle axe that has the name Ultimac inscribed on it. He likes it because he knows that's a decidedly dwarven name, and this battle axe is kind of his connection to his people, at Mount Corpsefoot, where he we don't know that he after their first adventure he went back to his homeland and then came back kind of on a mission, and we still haven't figured out what that mission is. But it doesn't matter now because he could be 50 miles from home, he could be 1,000 miles from home. He has no idea. Now Meggle has grown too. She was very Gunther had learned a new spell, had learned a new ability, and he tried it a couple times in their last when they were together last, and she became very fascinated by it, and remembering what he had said, she began trying to learn that spell herself, and from what she remembers him saying and those kind of things, and she ended up teaching herself color spray is the functional name of the spell. It has the way she cast it has its own little difference than what Barrow had because of the mercurial effect. So we'll see if she gets the chance to cast it tonight. Yeah, so she's grown too in these last 3 months. We're all level 2. They've been traveling from town to town. I mean, they're not even towns. They're like 2 farms and a home that acts as an inn. And they'd heard of first chance they'd heard of a larger town, the town of Herat. And they're heading there now. We join them as they're heading there now. And, yeah. Let's pull out. Hold on one second. I am just preparing myself. If you are watching and you want to add in you got a thought on what Snope might be up to with his dwarven family. He was kind of put on a mission. We haven't really gone into it. Don't know what it could be. If you got thoughts on Meggle's background, picks, help me out. Throw some words in chat and we'll talk about it. We'll flush these guys out some more. Meanwhile, we're going to join them. For days, they've traveled through dark and brooding forests and across the desolate, windswept moors. All about them is the endless gray, either the cold mists hanging on the valley floors or the dark clouds piling atop the bare, craggy peaks. Their destination is Herat, a lonely village set at the foot of the Trolltooth Mountains, with its promise of a warm hearth and good company. Until then, their only companions have been ravens that circle overhead and the howl of distant wolves in the night. Their reverie is broken. So, they woke up that morning, packed up, continued on, late afternoon, early evening, getting towards the end of evening. What I mean is it's starting to get to be dusk. They're traveling. They think they're pretty close by. Their reverie is broken by muffled screams on this forest path. And in the fog ahead of them, they see shuffling forms in the mist. Snope undoes his battle axe. Meggle sends Ormond up into the mists. Pix is going to sneak off to the side. I don't think she even needs a roll. She's got a second to. She's gonna fade off into the mists. Grim peasants, their dirt-lined faces drawn with fear, emerge from the gloom. All bear crude weapons: wood axes, staffs, pitchforks, long knives. The mob drives a raven-haired woman before them, gagged and bound with thick rope. She squirms and fights them with every step. Trailing the mob are solemn figures astride war horses, the telltale glint of armor flashing beneath their wolfskin cloaks. Snope and Meggle, they stand there as the crowd approaches, with their weapons drawn, but maybe a little easier now because they don't want to seem like they're aggressive, but they're gonna keep them out just in case. Pix has disappeared. She's not in the mix. The peasants draw up. When they see the dwarf and the elf, they pause. The ones in front pause. Their fear that are on their faces lessens a little bit. They still stop, though, which is odd. You'd think that they're maybe even more afraid to see these strangers. As they stop, the men on the horses notice the two newcomers too, and one of them rides up, and then as that one rides up, others come around behind him but stay back. The one who rides up is a big bear of a man. He comes up, he looks down coldly at Snope. Then he looks at Meggle. He says, "I've seen these mists spits lots of things, but this is the first time it's pissed an elf and a dwarf." A guy behind him on one of the other horses laughs. "I'm the Jarl of Heorot. And who are you, dwarf of the mist?" The Jarl looks away right after asking, as if he doesn't even give a shit about the answer. "I'm Snope, and this is Meggle," Snope says. The Jarl looks right back at him, and then says, "The inn is that way back there." He points behind him where they come. "Mind your business and get inside." He looks at them as if he's studying them. "The night brings something you aren't prepared to deal with." The woman, who's tied to the rope, suddenly speaks. "It's my father's inn. He'll have good food for you," she says, holding her head highly. Snope nods at the girl. The Jarl looks back down. "Don't you worry about her. She drew her lot, as we all will." He says that last part a little strangely. "Is she a criminal?" Snope asks. The Jarl kind of ignores that. "Night's coming. It's something that happens above ground, dwarf. We're moving along now. I think it's time you did the same." And Snope starts to speak, and the Jarl turns his horse and goes, "Come on, let's go. It's getting dark." And he leads the procession, and immediately the peasants start moving, and the woman looks back, and she holds Snope's eye until finally she has to turn away, and they are moving on without him. Meggle looks down at Snope and says, "Are we?" And he goes, No. So they wait a few minutes while the procession kind of passes them, and then I think they're going to follow them. I'm going to see what's going on. Snope didn't get... Neither one of them saw evil in that woman. Neither one of them thought that she looked like a criminal either. Not that they are... Well, they are a pretty good judge of character at this point. So they want to see what's going on. So they don't necessarily have to hide themselves. They wait a little bit and then just kind of follow behind. And Meggle's got Ormond, the hawk, who kind of flies up. They know Pix is nearby, keeping hidden. So they kind of follow behind the procession, And it isn't maybe 5 more minutes down the road. Actually, honestly, it's not down back the way they came down the road. It's off the path a little bit. The procession kind of goes off the path, um, where to I think it's to the north, um, behind them, and they kind of follow them up, and the ground kind of rises up a little bit, and the mists kind of back away as they kind of the procession and them come into a clearing, and there's these standing stones that rest atop a low, craggy bluff. At the center of the stones is a squat stone block. A trio of ravens stand atop the mossy stone, pecking at trails of gore. 4 holes are bored into the stone, and thick coils of rope are looped through the stone to make crude shackles. Snope and Meggle hang back and watch as the peasants lash the girl to the stone block. Meggle says, "Looks like this is some kind of ritual of some sort." Snope grunts. After they feel like they've gotten her tied up good, they turn, and the fear as they all the villagers approached was almost palpable. Like when they're walking up to tie her to the altar, some are looking this way, some are looking that way, gripping the white knuckling their weapons, and the Jarl's men, even the horses, are a little unnerved. And as soon as they feel like they've got her tied up, the Jarl says the word, and they start turning around, and Snope and Meggle back up enough off the road, back into a little bit in the trees, just to not really call attention to themselves. And they watch as these people who don't seem to be any more relieved, even more afraid, as they continue back down the road. And the Jarl, they hear the Jarl say, "I'll tell your dad you did well. You gave him honor." And the girl spits on the ground and stares at him defiantly. And she says, "Unless something's done, your lot will come too." The Jarl, he just turns away and rides back. And Meggle and Snope let them go. As they pass and pass through, they give it a few more minutes, and it's not yet dark. And then Meggle and Snope head back up. The girl, afraid at first, and then she sees as them, falls to her knees and is like, "Please, please let me go." And Snope just nods. He takes his battle axe and he cuts the ropes. And she says, "Thank you so much, but we must be going." Snope says, "What's going on here? Why are you? What's being done? Is this some kind of? Is this is this for a god?" And she says, "Oh no, nothing as holy as that. Nothing as holy as that. We every night, or every 3 nights lately, we're visited by a beast, and this beast is where, well, we draw lots, and every 3 nights one of us is tied to this altar, and the beast comes in." And she looks around the gore, and she says, "Feeds on us, and it keeps it away from the village." Meggle says, so you sacrifice yourselves so that the monster came, and it used to come every night, and it would rip people apart. And once we started giving ourselves to it, But we really must be going soon. Well, wait, Snope says. What kind of beast is this? It's bigger than a wolf. It's large, glowing red eyes. I've heard. I haven't seen it. Many who've seen it have never lived. Most who've seen it have never lived. Snope looks at Meggle. He says, "What do you think, Pix?" No, Morgan is startled as she turns around and Pix is sitting on the edge of the altar. And Pix says, "Can't be worse than a gigantic, tentacled 3,000 eye beast." And Snope smirks a little bit. He's like, "That's kind of what I was thinking. What do you think, Meggle?" And Morgan suddenly perks up a little bit. She's as if realizing she's looking at them and realizing that these aren't average travelers. They don't get a lot of travelers in here anyway. But she's realizing that there's maybe a little bit more. The eyes, these guys, Snope's eyes are a little harder than your normal traveler. Even Meggle's a little harder looking. She said, Do you mean you could kill it? Do you mean to fight it?" Well, and Snope is still looking at Meggle. Snope is still looking at Meggle, and she looks at him long. She says, "Well," actually, she turns to Morgan, the girl. Her name is Morgan, and she says, Does it always come? How soon after dark does it come?" And Morgan just, "We hear it howling. Sometime maybe a half hour from now, or maybe soon. And it comes here. Yes, she says. And she doesn't even say, she just kind of points to the gore. Meggle says, "We could set a trap." Soap nods. Pix perks up. "I like traps," she says. "All right, why don't we do this?" And Morgan doesn't know what to do with herself. She's her father's daughter. Her father runs the inn. She's a bit of a spitfire. She's strong and faster, and she's been better than a lot of people in her village. She goes, "Do you have something you could give me?" And Meggle's like, "Maybe you should go back to the..." And then she sees the fire in Morgan's eyes. She goes, "Do you know how to..." And Snope speaks up. "You know how to use one of these?" And he's got his long sword. And Morgan's eyes brighten. She's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I know how to use one of those." So he hands her his long sword. And Snope takes out his battle axe, Ultimac. So what we're going to do, we're going to hide. We're going to hide around this grisly altar and see what kind of beast comes out of the mist. These guys, Snope, Meggle, and Pix, have gone to the plane of chaos. They've raided the plane of law, and they're just second level. So the idea of some big wolf isn't really frightening to them. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of easy for these guys to do this, kind of set this up. It's premeditated. They know where this thing's gonna come up. It's gonna come at the altar. Does somebody want to play bait? That frightens the hell out of Morgan, but it makes sense. Yeah, let's do it. So Morgan is going to play bait. She's going to lay down on there, not lay down, or at least be nearby, sitting on it or something. Be ready to fall back behind it when Snope, Meggle, and Pix strike. I think we have a perfect setup for a surprise here. I don't think there's any rolling. Within 15 minutes, this gruesome howl starts erupting from the surrounding woods. I mean, yeah, it's no gigantic, mind-boggling pit creature, but Snope has to admit that it puts goose pimples all the way up and down his body. And for a split second, he thinks, maybe we just see what this is. But he squashes that because he's got Morgan there. They've kind of committed to this. We got to see what's going on. The howl increases. There's more howls. Almost like, how many of these beasts are there? And before long, out of the mist comes bounding this creature. 4 legs, like a wolf or a dog. Bigger than more like a bear size. But that's where the similarities kind of end, because it looks like part of its body is part snake, but there's fur coming out the top of it. Its ears are large daggers coming out of its head. Its eyes large and on fire. Could be literally on fire. There's it feels like there might be pulsing. Snope is sitting. He's off to the east, and Meggle is off to the on the other side in the west. Pix is hiding back in the woods a little bit farther out. She wants to sneak up and backstab it. Maybe she's off to the side. It comes bounding up to the altar. Obviously, it's gotten used to coming up. It's got prey there too. That helped a lot. So it's single focused. It's moving fast. Huge jaws, open, green saliva. Morgan screams. She can't help herself. She hadn't really seen it until now. This thing's big. And Snope reminds himself, this is no elder ancient god. And he, with a scream, comes running out of the fog to attack this guy. So we're going to give these guys a surprise round on the hound and see what happens. So Snope comes, he is the first to strike, and he's coming out with his battle axe, Ultimac. Boom. Let's give him, all right. So, Snope, 1d4. Where are my 1d4s? Here you go. All right. Now, I want a more Snope appropriate 20 size die. That would be more, yeah, that's good. Here we go. All right. 14 minus 1 because he's not the strongest dwarf, which is, that's right. I think he spent some strength before. That's why he's at 9. But anyway, 13 plus 2 is 15, which hits. And let's see what he does before we narrate it. It's 1d10 damage. Holy crap. 10 damage. Wow. Well, 12. Wow. All right. Our dwarf comes screaming out of the mist, and the beast, so intent on ripping apart its prey, the new prey, and the woman screaming, it's going to jump, and he comes out at the right moment and just slams his battle axe into its side, right into it. Chunk. Big chunk. It screams and falls to the ground. Doing like this kind of thing on the dirt. Surprised. Surprise! Scrambling to get back up while Meggle lets loose an arrow from the shadows or the mist. a Megal appropriate 20-sided die. Let's do this one. And she gets +2. +2 the missile attacks. 12 +2 is 14. The it's flailing on the ground. She almost an arrow comes flying out of the mist and slams itself into the ground right as the it's kind of scrambles up as getting up. So it misses. She almost hit. And then that's when this blur of black comes shooting out and leaps on, attempts to leap on its back to stab it. Back stabby. Yeah, she's going to get +2. And she didn't run fast enough to where she's going to sweat. We don't want her sweating. No sweating. All right. Picks appropriate dies right here. She gets a +5. Okay. She fumbles. How interesting is that? All right. Her fumble. She's not wearing any armor. Picks don't wear no armor. I think, yeah. We're going to do D4. I'm not quite sure the actual perfect ruling for this, but she's going to roll D4 on the fumble chart because she rolled a 1. Fumble. Your weapon comes loose in your hand. You quickly grab it, but your grip is disrupted. You take a -2 penalty on your next attack roll. So she comes running to stab it with her steely knife, and it comes loose. Not only does she miss him, but she almost drops it. So she gets -2 in the next hit. Surprise is over. It's initiative time. Our Hellhound rolls a 1 +2. He's okay. He's got 3. I didn't give Morgan a chance to attack. I'm going to say she didn't get a chance to be part of the surprise because she's too flipped out. She's just too flipped out. She's a 0 level character. She is going to continue on with the party though, if she survives this. She was too flipped out, screaming. She couldn't believe it. But she's gonna catch her. She's gonna roll initiative. She's gonna be fighting this time around. So anyway, that was the Hound, and then Snow isn't doing much better. He's a 2. Okay. And then Megal rolls a 5. Wow. So she has the Hawk. We'll bring the Hawk into play now. And then picks. Roll more than. Wow. Wow. Okay. And then let's see what Morgan rolls. 12. Okay. Alright, so Megal has her Hawk, Ormond. He wasn't attacking. He wasn't part of the surprise, but he's going to be part of the remainder of this. And Megal has caught her breath, and she's going to act first. Thematically, that makes sense, right? Everybody else got their surprise attack. The Hound's back on its feet, ready to start ripping people apart because that's what it really wants to do. And she brings up her longsword, comes running in to finish it off. And let's see if she does that. Okay, I'll get you later. Appropriate die from. Here we go. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Oh, you a tough die, huh? Tough die. So, yeah, all her training that her father has been teaching her in the basement of the inn, all kind of flew away as she went swinging wildly. Well, the sword's a long sword. Maybe she's always practiced on a short sword, so it's a little heavier than she's used to. And she flies over the head of the Hound. Megal. She knows it's been hit pretty bad. Okay. So this is cool. um, her hawk comes flying in, Ormond. It's flying in level with the head of the. It comes over the altar, down, coming right at the hound's face, and she's gonna cast a spell through it, because it's her familiar, and the kind of familiar it is, she can cast through it. And I'm gonna roll, and then we'll talk, and then we'll see what she casts. I know what she's gonna cast. I'm just not telling you yet. Where's my book? I should have had that right over here. All right, so let's roll a spell check. I learned something from these guys I ran a game for over at Gen Con. They kept rolling off. I guess that might be a thing. They'd roll a 20 for like 2 or 3 times to roll off, and sure enough, they'd be rolling like 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then they'd start rolling better, and then I'd let them roll. I let them do it because it was fun. But yeah. So she is casting that spell. Oh, it's so cool. It was gonna be so cool. No, it's not cool. Now it's bad. Okay. Well, not only is she freaking forgetting it for today, she was gonna cast color spray. This is so dope. This hawk was gonna come in. It was gonna right at the face of the hound. It's gonna open its beak. Her mercurial effect is demonic voices. So whenever she casts it, she's gonna do demonic. A demon actually comes and speaks through her mouth to cast the spell, damaging her larynx, so she can't speak for like 1d4 hours. Well, it was gonna happen, but it was gonna come out of the beak of the hawk, and then the color spray was gonna come out of the hawk, blinding the beast. But instead, we got another cool, not as cool as that, but it's still cool because it's a 1, and that means she might be corrupted. Let's see what happens with a 1. Lost, failure, and worse. Roll 1d6, modified by luck. So, let's see what happens. I need an appropriate Megal 1d6, please. That'll work. Does she have how's her luck? Megal actually has a +1 luck. I mean, a +1 modifier for luck. How awesome is that? Here we go. 4. It just misfires. So she did not get corrupted. So that's cool. Misfire. Roll 1d3. Where's my 1d3? There we go. 2. All right. Color spray is delayed uncontrollably. Judge secretly rolls a die type of his choice. Spell is discharged that many rounds later on a new re-rolled spell check result. All right, we're going to do 1d4. 3 rounds, and color spray is going to come back. I don't know how. We're going to see how that rolls. So the hawk comes in, goes to open its mouth because she's trying to cast a spell. She can't remember the spell. Something happens, like the demon voice comes, but it says something differently, and I think the hawk is just going to attack. It's just going to just going to dig its claws into the hound's face. Because it still gets an action. Appropriate hawk, yes. That's an appropriate hawk die. Yeah. So it attempts to do that, and the hound kind of like slaps it aside. Not enough to hurt it, but enough to deflect it. So that was Meg. Now it's Pix's turn. She's got a -2. She's not feeling it with her dagger. She has -2, but she got +2. Is she gonna stick around to attempt to yeah. Okay, she's gonna take another stab at it. She pivots and turns. She's got her dagger. It's a little more secure now, but it's, let's see. She's gonna have an even. No. I want black. 17. Look at that. That is enough to hit. She strikes it with her dagger. Doesn't get the automatic crit because of the backstab this time around. So she's only doing 1d4. But actually, let's roll the 1d4. 4. She's gonna spend a point of luck. She's gonna spend 1 point of luck. And when a thief spends a point of luck, they get to roll their luck die, which is the d4 as well, and then add that amount instead of just 1. 1. Alright, so she does 5 points of damage. It howls, it screeches, as she stabs it in the back, and it's at its spine. It screeches, whips its head around. It is its turn. It whips around and let's see. It's going to try to bite Snope. Snope's the one that struck it with its with his hammer. With his axe. So it's going to take a bite out of Snope. Snope's rocking an armor class of 12. It is rocking a modifier of +3 with its bite. Ooh, 21. It definitely hits. It does 1d8 points of damage. Alright, so luckily for Snope, this thing whips its head around and lunges and bites. But his leather armor holds true for him. And he only takes a point of damage. Right? This thing doesn't have pluses. No, it doesn't. But what it does have is a 3d20 actions. So it can take 3 actions. So it takes a swing with its claw at let's see, bites him, and then swings at Morgan. Morgan, this could kill her. She's a 0 level character. It misses. She falls back. She kind of falls back and it misses. And then I was gonna say it'd strike at Pix, but maybe it strikes at her again. No, let's try it. Because Pix is right there too. It's gonna try to hit all of them. It's trying to get everybody. Ooh. Monster fumble. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't hit her at all. Okay. So that's it, and now it's Snope's turn. Snope, he goes for the kill. He's gonna attempt to chop this thing's head off. He's gonna actually call a mighty deed of chopping this thing's head off. Let's see what happens. Oh, he did the mighty deed, but he didn't. He's 8. 8. No, that's none of that. So he goes to come at its head, and it moves its head in time, and it bites into the dirt. And that's when Morgan runs in with her longsword. Oh, she crits. Yeah, she's probably gonna roll a 1d4 on the crit table. Let's do that. 2. Foe jabbed in the eye, ugly bruising, and inflict plus 1d4 damage with his strike. Sick. Okay, she's doing 1d4 plus 1d6. She's doing 5 points damage. So this is what happened. So Snope, attempting to behead the beast, slams his battle axe, brings his battle axe down. It moves its head enough to where the battle axe swings by it, hits the ground. Morgan comes running in with her longsword like this. She shoves it down. It goes into its eye, through its brain. It squeals and falls, and it's death throw. And she kind of falls with it, and everybody's laying there, and it's not moving. It's dead. And there, everybody looks at each other like, we just killed this thing, this beast. And Morgan starts laughing in a little crazy way. We've done it. We've done it. We've killed the beast. Meggle comes rushing in, checks to make sure everybody's okay. Snoke just has a scratch. Meggle as Morgan wasn't even hit. And I mean, the person who suffered the worst really is Meggle from losing. Oh. And that's when color spray erupts. So we're going to roll. It's a 2. So color spray fizzles out. Her bird, her hawk, suddenly gets this bad taste in its mouth. Doesn't know why. It's like, and goes to look for a mouse to eat to clear off his throat. The color spray just got died on its mouth. Okay. So Snope, Meggle, and Pix help Morgan up, kind of get her, make she's good, because these guys get back to being okay faster than anybody else does. Kick it, make sure that thing's dead, and then suddenly it like starts decomposing rapidly, and just kind of dissolves into this black substance. Where is it? I want to get this right because it has something to do with it later on too. It dissolves into an oily black mist and just kind of Morgan goes, "It's gone. That means it's gone." Snope and Meggle look at each other and they kind of like, we hope that it must mean it's gone, right? Meggle goes, "Can you show us to your town?" And Morgan laughs, "Yes, yes." And going back to the town is lighter. Everybody's a little lighter and feeling good. And they come up to the gate, and one of the guys at the gate goes, yells down, "Who's there? Who's there?" And Morgan yells up, "It's me. It's Morgan." He goes, "Morgan, what are you?" And she says, "They killed it. The newcomers, they killed the beast." And he says, "Are you sure?" She says, "I saw it. I helped. I felled. I landed the killing blow." And he's like, well, come on in." She's a young kid. And he opens up the gate for him. And she takes... It's later. And everybody... the houses all boarded up. Not boarded up, but all closed up. All the lights are off. The town is dead quiet and dead. And Morgan hushes because she doesn't want the whole town to get the whole town out. She said, come, take me, father. I'll take you to my father. She takes them through the town to the inn. And they go in the inn. She races in the door. Her father, who's behind the bar, is so overjoyed that she's alive. She rushes to his arms and he holds her, and then he's like, why? Oh no. Well, he says, oh no, and they know what that means. Oh no is like, if they miss the sacrifice, what's going to happen? But she says, no, Dad, they killed it. He's like, you did. And there's a few other people in the bar. It erupts in kind of a joyous thing. Many pints later, Snope and Pix and Meggle collapse in free beds. They haven't slept in a bed in probably, it feels like, years, right? Since they were taken from their village and summoned to the plane of chaos, and then sent to the plane of law, and then sent into the Knoll house to find the Elder Knoll's eyes, and then sent into the temple of Nezelgrub. They haven't slept in a bed, and this is the most wonderful feeling in the world. Drunk, passed out, an awesome bed, and tonight they sleep as heroes, the heroes of Heorot. Tonight. So I'm gonna end there. It's a little bit of a short night, but I wanted to end on that note. Next week we'll be back because this adventure is no way done with these guys. And yeah. We're gonna find out more about Heorot. So there's that. Anybody who's watching, I kind of got wrapped up in the narrative, but this is supposed to be kind of a chat play thing, where if you have anything you want to add, or you want to take control, or you want to participate, by all means chime in chat. Tomorrow I'm changing up the format of Saturday nights. I was doing another thing of DCC, but with a different party and the X-Crawl stuff, but I think I'm pulling back a little bit on that because I wanted to break out. I picked up Rise of Fenris for Scythe, and I want to play it with you guys. So Saturday nights are going to be Scythe, the whole campaign. I'm going to do all 12 not all tomorrow. Over each every week, do a different one of the campaigns. I'm not the best Scythe player, but I play solo quite a bit, and I love it. So it's going to be fun. So check it out. It's at the Liching Hour tomorrow night. That's 12 a.m. Eastern Time. And thanks for joining. And I'll catch you. You can catch the rest of these episodes on YouTube, on the lichingour.com. The Liching Hour's YouTube channel. And that's it. You guys have a nice night. Viva la Dungeon!